Aging well is my favorite subject. And unfortunately, I know a lot about hydration because I learned the hard way. I'm 67 years old, and one day before my birthday last summer, I wound up in the emergency room suffering from a kidney stone. And that's because I wasn't tackling the issue of hydration during the hot summer months in our mid-60s with the right information. So stick around for this video if you're interested, because I'm going to be sharing everything you need to know about hydration over 50. Let's get started. If you're drinking your 8 glasses of water a day, but you're still feeling parched and sluggish, you might be caught in the "I'll be fine if I just drink 8 glasses of water a day" trap. I've learned that as we age, our bodies simply don't hold on to water as well as they used to. I've learned it's about absorption rather than just volume. As we age, our bodies are so much less efficient in pulling that water we need into our cells. So here, I'm going to share with you those 8 tips you need to know so that we can age as well as possible. Let's get into tip number 1. So how do we make sure that we remember to drink enough? As you might have seen in my morning routine video, I'll link it above in case you didn't have time to take a peek. I start every morning with a good 16 ounces of tepid water. The reason the first thing I do is drink my 16 ounces of water is because hopefully I've slept a really good 7 or 8 hours, haven't woken in the night, and that means I've woken up quite dehydrated. Then, of course, the question is, how do you make sure that you remember to drink throughout the day? I believe in memory association. It's really how I run my life. So what I mean by that, so that whenever you go there, you remember to have another glass of water. It's important not to gulp down a bunch of water, but rather to drink it, let's say, every hour or so throughout the day. You may choose to teach yourself that every time you go into your kitchen, you're going to have a glass of water. Every time you moisturize, put on your sunscreen, have another glass of water. Whatever it is that for you is a memory click, that will help you remember to drink on a regular basis throughout the day, particularly if this is new to you. If I know I'm going to have an outdoor day, that very first glass of water that I have in the morning, I may put a little pinch of salt. If, however, I'm having a mostly indoor day, like today, it's gray and rainy, and I know I'm going to be in front of my computer for most of the day today, then I will use my Stanley. So after my kidney stone event, I was told by my doctor that it was necessary that I feed my body 3 liters of water a day. This Stanley cup was a gift to myself, and it has really helped me. First of all, it holds 1 liter. So I know that I have to complete at least 3 of these throughout the day. The other lesson I learned from the Stanley is, I don't know if you're the same, I was never much of a straw user, but I read somewhere that it's easier for us to take more water into our bodies through a straw than it is from drinking out of a cup. And I have to say it's worked for me. I have really found using my Stanley, straw included, as a much easier way to successfully and pleasantly, with ease, get through my 3 necessary liters every day. In the summer, don't just drink. Let's eat our hydration. Think watermelon, cucumber, celery, juicy berries. Each of these arrive not only with a little juicy burst in our mouths, but also with nutrients that help our body retain moisture longer. So double up whenever you can. If you like the idea of floating a natural flavor in your water, try slices of cucumber, strawberries, or any berries. Just float something that is pretty, that helps you retain that moisture, and you've really done a glass of water in a very smart way. Don't forget about your skin holding the moisture in. Hydration isn't just about water. It's also about the healthy fats that keep your skin barrier intact. So focus on, during the really hot days, eating omega-3 rich foods like salmon, tuna, trout, walnuts, flax seeds, edamame, eggs. They help your skin hold the moisture you're putting into your body. Hydration is necessary. Our skin loves these omega-3s anytime, but it needs them all the more in the summertime. If you've enjoyed the video so far, please give it a like. And if you're interested in subjects relating to aging well, we would love to have you subscribe to the channel. We talk about skincare and makeup and eating well, hydration, exercising well, everything that allows us to age well and enjoy life to the fullest. We would love it if you join our very kind community by subscribing. Thank you so much for your consideration. I believe in lose the ice. We've been taught that cold water with ice in it is refreshing. But at 67, I find it's more of a shock to my system. I've learned it slows down absorption. And in fact, I find it's harder for me to consume icy cold water. So I drink at room temperature. If, however, you're someone who really wants something icy in your drink, what about trying a frozen strawberry? Not only is it delicious when it defrosts and you can pop that little snack in your mouth, but it creates a lovely sense. I'm drinking more than water. I'm drinking a pretty glass with a frozen strawberry inside. See if that works for you. I'm always up for the pretty and delicious option, even if I'm just talking about a boring glass of water. Let's talk about what are the signs of dehydration, and then what are the things you need to do if you're about to do big exercise or big travel to protect your body from dehydration. First of all, the signs of dehydration: dizziness, headaches, a sense of brain fog, dry mouth, dry lips. If you're starting to feel not quite yourself, quite irritable or shaky, and of course, if you're urinating less often, or if there's a change in dark color of your urine, those are all signs that indeed your body is struggling with dehydration. One of the mechanisms that is really easy to keep at hand if you're traveling or exercising is to add electrolytes, which is a sugar-free powder that you can add to your first glass of water of the day. Think of it as a way of unlocking your cells to let hydration into your water, into your body, as preparation for a day when you think hydration is going to be an issue. If it's really just light use, none is an electrolyte brand that you might find useful. LMNT is particularly useful if you have sweaty workouts in outdoor heat, runners, individuals that are spending a lot of time at high levels of exercise outdoors, find that electrolyte recipe helpful. And if it's for fast hydration or recovery due to airplane travel, liquid IV or drip drop is well recommended. And finally, those that are experiencing illness, dehydration related to illness, Pedialyte is useful for severe cases. Natural options throughout the day also include coconut water and salty snacks. Keep yourself on top of hydration by educating yourself as to what the options are in certain situations. Remind yourself, or for me, I really had to teach myself to do what I call a dryness check. Because often by the time you feel thirsty, you are already slightly dehydrated. So if you're gonna have an outdoor day, or if you're in air conditioning, which is frankly just as guilty, check your lips, be aware of the back of your throat. Those are the early warning signals that your body is feeling slightly dehydrated. I also love this Evian misting spray. It's so handy to keep, it's just mineral water, but it's really handy to keep if you're going on a walk, if you're sitting in a park, if you're near a pool on a holiday, just keep it in your bag. Yourself, your body, a little bit of a spray. I feel it's cooling. Of course, you have to remember to top up your sunscreen after you give yourself a little mist. But I do find this is helpful and very, very pleasant. The other awareness that I have newly had to really focus on is matching my intake of water with my activity during the summer. So if we're gonna have more hot outdoor activities, I have to up my fluid intake and my awareness of whether or not I need electrolytes. When you're sweating a lot, you may need more salt than you think to make. I have to remind myself about balance. We aren't going to give up coffee and wine just because it's the summertime, but for every cup of coffee, for every glass of wine, I need an extra glass of water to compensate. I find this is especially important to remember when I'm on holiday, visiting friends and family. I can get so caught up in conversation when I'm enjoying a coffee or a glass of wine, and I forget that I really need an extra glass of water because of those dehydrating drinks. It's about balance, not restriction. But waiting until you feel thirsty means you're already behind. Hydration is really important, but so is a good night's sleep. So it's important to know when you need to have an evening cutoff, by which time you've drunk the majority of the fluids you're going to take during the day. So for me, I try to ensure that I've had the bulk of my fluids by 7 or 8 o'clock p.m. After that, I might just be sipping between that time and bedtime. I'm trying not to wake in the middle of the night if I can avoid it. This is a bit of an experimental number you're going to have to work out for yourself. But clearly, aging well is being hydrated, but it's also about having a good night's sleep. So you might have to do a little bit of experimentation to find when is the best cutoff time for you to be drinking larger amounts of water. Thank you so much for watching. This video is quite a personal one, really. Having been through the kidney stone last summer, it was dreadful Many people have asked me, they often say that having a kidney stone is as difficult as giving birth to a child. Well, I have 2 children, gave birth to 2. Of course, the major difference is at the end, you end up hopefully with a beautiful, healthy bundle. Nothing to show for this experience, but I certainly want to be able to share with you what I learned so that hopefully none of you will ever have to experience a kidney stone. I hope so. Please feel free to ask any questions that come to mind. Leave any comments, share your own experiences. I love it when our community shares what they have experienced. It's such a lovely way of participating. It makes social media the best it can be. I hope you're all well, enjoying summer, managing to find some coolness in the heat that so many countries are experiencing. Get up, get dressed, be happy. Can't wait to see you next time. Bye-bye.